Hey,
Hello.
hey, everybody. So, Steven and I are back after a small hiatus of, for me, MVP Summit travels. Still feel a bit jet lagged after going to, 9 hours back in time and then down 9 hours ahead again. But
Nice.
yes, we are back live for another Friday. Let's see if Easter messes us up our next week for us. Anyway, how are you, Steven?
Yeah, I'm good. And spoiler alert, yes, Eastern will interfere with our schedule though. But I'm good.
Yes. So
I unfortunately
our
couldn't make it to
weekly
the
B
summit though.
dev session is not very weekly, but we'll see if we can
No,
keep going somehow sometime after Easter.
I do
Yeah,
like but yeah, that's life. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes it
Eh,
does.
yeah,
But in the worst, I will be back in. That sounds now weird. In like 3 weeks. So
yeah.
it's not even the weekly.
Oh,
Anyway, anyway,
excuse me. Let me
um,
just ungum myself.
perfect.
Oh,
Yeah. What's on today's menu? I guess we have it's a bit different than normal, huh? We have a mixed bag of certain things we wanna do. I mean, I don't know. I
yeah.
know the
So I
last
think I
time.
think you mentioned you had some questions about time provider and time provider testing, and I've built my own version. I helped Microsoft build theirs, the fake time provider. So I have some insights there, and I might be interesting for users. If you have code you can show that is not NDA or company code, then we can have a general discussion. Otherwise, I think it's just diving into the B unit V2 to-do list and see what we can figure out.
Yes. No. There's is not any secret code. It's open
Mm,
source stuff, which is also on GitHub under MIT license, so that we're free to discuss certain things. Um,
awesome.
not only certain things, literally all things, because it's just completely unrelated to any customer I'm serving.
Oh, give me 1 second. Hold that thought. I have somebody at my door, of course.
Okay, maybe I can give a brief introduction what I am working on. I will just share my screen for a second. Let me do this right now. Okay. Right now, you see just a small repository or a small test. Let me just quickly finish my thought. And the idea is to have a cron scheduler. So what is, or yeah, I don't know if we need any further explanation. The idea is that you can, I have an example here that might make it easier. Unit tests are not really great for an introduction, but samples are. So let's go. The idea is here you have a cron scheduler, which basically sits on top of the I hosted service slash background service. And you can define something like a cron expression, and you can even give like parameters. You can then run this job. This job is pretty boring. It's just for the sake of, let's go in demonstration. This just runs something, logs a message, and you have some output, and the output can then be handled by a so-called notification handler. Let's go here. There's a notification handler. It's nothing really fancy. Log message. And how this works under the hood is that if I go in, there's a cron scheduler, and this cron scheduler basically does a few things. It has an execute async method, and if we look here at the top, it's just your everyday background service. So the idea is that cron scheduler sits somewhere between a background service and something full blown like Quartz or Hangfire. So it's a nice middle ground. Anywho, we have here a periodic timer, and time is what always a bit of a pain to test, because if you remember, if you have task delay, daytime UTC now, that always makes tests very weird, or you somehow had to move okay, you somehow had to move
Sorry about
this
that.
logic out not worry, logic out into humble objects which you can then mock. And since .NET 8, there's something cool called time provider, which, as the name suggests, provides time in various shapes and forms. And this you can
Yes.
use with a lot of like .NET native objects, like the periodic timer. The periodic timer works
Hmm.
like that. It's a very cool thing because it's async await, and you can wait for ticks, and you basically say, hey, how long is a tick? imagine every minute, and then every minute it just waits for that minute, and then it runs in this while loop, and then once in a minute it just runs my logic. Nice and dandy,
Yes.
cool things. But still, if you have a real timer which you do not mock, or you don't have an interface which you can mock, then you somehow have to, take care of time. And basically there are, I wouldn't say two major players, but let's say two implementations of faking this out in a test. And this is once Egil's version of it, which I am using. Let's go to that test, let's go here, where we have this manual time provider. And then there's also the version from Microsoft. It's under Microsoft extensions.testing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Exactly. And the idea is that you can control time, which I do think is a nice superpower to have. I'm not sure if I want to go invisible or controlling time if I'm ever a superhero, or more likely supervillain. So the question, not the question, but the idea is that you can control time. You can control how much it goes forward or backward. You can jump. You can go manual steps or smaller incremental steps. That is a very, very basic idea behind these manual or fake time provider. So Egil's version is called manual time provider. The one from Microsoft is called fake time provider, if I'm not totally wrong.
That's correct. I just realized my link to the NuGet package from Microsoft. So you might want to ask, why create a second version? And the reason why I ended up doing that was because, well, I was actually quite active in the development of the fake time provider. So I helped out quite a bit over in the repositories. And the Microsoft I think runtime repository, and because I had actually inadvertently, without knowing, the whole time provider project that has been around since 2020 from Microsoft's part. There's an old issue hanging around where people were discussing this in very great detail. I've created my own, similar concept. Obviously, the sort of design that the whole .NET team had come up with around time provider was slightly more elegant, or quite a lot, but the general concepts were the same. So I already had built sort of a fake time provider, manual time provider, and so I basically jumped into that issue of creating one from Microsoft's point of view and helped out with that. But then at some point along, during that development, there was some disagreements about how some of the functionality should be working, and the Microsoft folks who were building it had some experience from internal tools where they also have created a fake, something to control time. I had, had a product in production that were using my version, and so there was some sort of fundamental disagreements, and that's fine. It's their product, so they get to decide. But that also meant that I actually had a reason to keep my own version around. I would prefer not to, but now that there was something where the features work slightly different, then it made sense. So my version, that's under the time provider extensions, and I can let me go ahead and steal the screen now. So it's under time provider extensions on NuGet. It actually, all the tests Microsoft had, at least in the .NET 8 timeframe. I haven't looked in .NET 9 if they changed anything. Probably not yet. But all the tests they have also pass with and my implementation is API compatible with theirs. But one thing I do have that is different is you have a notion of jumping through time. And the whole idea with time provider is not just giving you what is the current time right now, but it's more controlling the flow of time. So that's the general idea. So you have the option of going from, you initialize your time provider, and during testing, you can initialize a fake of the manual time provider, and you pass that to your system under test, like Steven showed you. And then your system under test will behave just the same as it always did. It will use the time providers passed in during production. You will use the time provider.system, which is just the default one. that actually leverages just the standard datetime offset UTC now, and it has localization support, and it has support for high resolution timestamps, right? So you would use that during production, but during testing you would pass in a manual time provider, for example. And now time doesn't move. So if you have 2 calls to get UTC now from timestamp from your time provider and your production code, and you just call them 2 times in a row, normally in the real world, you would probably see a slight difference if you just call them twice in a row, and maybe down to the ticks. But when using the manual time provider or the fake time provider from Microsoft, time will stand still until you explicitly call the method advance, where you can advance time by a specific timestamp, or you can call set UTC now and just say, well, jump to some time in the future. So that might be different reasons why you want to use advanced versus datetime offset, but that usually involves the type of, for example, if you have a state machine where you say, well, after my start time is this, and then at 30 minutes later I want to do something, you could use advance. But you could also have a bunch of advanced steps before, and then the last jump, instead of having to do the calculations and subtract how many advances you've done before, you can just say, well, now jump to the last point I want to be at. So that's sort of why you have those two. But another thing I added, which is not in the Microsoft package, is the jump method. And their implementation, actually, their advanced method actually works like my jump method. And the difference between the two is illustrated down in my docs here. So if we look at, well, it's basically covered here, and I explain why. But if you, for example, like in Steven's case, have a recurring timer of, let's say, every 1 second, you want to have, like in the periodic time, you want to have a callback. If you jump ahead, if you use the Microsoft fake time provider and say advance by 3 seconds, the manual time provider will do the following. It will actually behave as if you had said advance 1 second, advance 1 second, advance 1 second. So whenever you jump ahead by 1 second, it will set the current time to at 1, and then the time would be 2 seconds from the start time, and then it's 3 seconds. So if you were in your periodic timer for each loop, if you were to do a get UTC now to see what the clock is at the time that you are getting the timer callback at, you would actually get it at 1 second, 2 seconds, and 3 seconds. However, the fake time provider will advance by 3 seconds, then it will call your callback 3 times, and all the times the time in the time provider will be at 3 second time mark. To me, that's super counterintuitive, right? So yeah, you have to understand that, and you have to understand the intrinsics of how timers in generally work, right? So like, because for me, I have 3 calls to advance of 1 second, and then I get one behavior, and then I have 1 call that gives me, but I move ahead 3 seconds. So that's gonna lead to, and it's not very well, it's not really documented, it's not visible. So unless this is how timers work. Hang on, let me just get my notifications out of the way.
By the way, shame on me, when I started the whole unit testing of my library, I did not spend much time with their docs, to be honest. And I fell into that trap. I was expecting basically the behavior you described with your own version, and fell into that pit of, what the heck is going on? I don't need at this specific time point like 10 invocations. I need over the time series at certain intervals. I need that invocation. And that was super weird to me.
That was my argument exactly in the long list of GitHub discussions. The GitHub discussions is that people are going to expect a different behavior. So the folks from Microsoft's point of view was, well, a real timer in a real operating system, unless you're working on a real-time operating system that we sometimes, I guess, see in, like if you have a pacemaker, that's a small OS in there. You want the timers to be very precise there. They have to actually, when you say, call me back in 1 second, it should call you back in 1 second. Whereas the timers we have in, normal operating systems, like phones and computers and whatever, there you say, well, give me a callback in 1 second, and the only guarantee you have from that timer is that it will call you back in 1 second or later, unless your process crashes, which in that case you won't get a callback, right? So intrinsically, you kind of want to be able to test both things, and that's why, and that was sort of their argument that yes, the advanced method of setUtc now works like a timer does in production, which is if I jump ahead by 3 seconds, I get 3 callbacks at that time where I've jumped to. So you have, but for me, I want to have both. I want to be able, because when I'm testing, I want to have an explicit thing. I want to make it visible that this is specific what I'm trying to test in this particular instance. So for the manual time provider, you get both a jump method that does behave like the Microsoft version does, where if you jump ahead by 3 seconds, it's as if your processor has been busy for 3 seconds and I haven't had time to actually do anything about your timer, right? Your timer had lower priority to other processes running on your system, so it didn't actually get called before 3 seconds in, right? And then it obviously will call you 3 times because that's the guarantee it gives you, the timer in general in OS. But yes, so you basically, you have an additional method. You have the advanced method, and then you have the jump method in manual time provider. In fake time provider, you just have the advanced method and the setUtc now. And setUtc now works the same. If you set the time to some time way in the future, then it will do the same thing as jump does if there's any things in between. So that's sort of the reason why they're slightly different and work differently. And then I added additional APIs as well, so that you can manually automatically increment time by different amounts depending on how you interact with the time provider. So that's the whole story.
What I do like with your approach is that, for example, I have a system which once I start, it's really hard to get control what I'm doing there because it's a periodic timer. Once that thing is started with a given interval, it's not like I have a direct hook into that. I mean, obviously I could write my own time provider, but that defeats the purpose. So
Yeah.
I do like that you can say, okay, my interval is like 1 minute and I want to advance by 1 minute 10 times. So it's at the end of the test, I'm basically at 10 minutes runtime. And I do need the steps in between and not like at the end 10 times.
Yeah. So yes. And obviously you could have 10 advanced calls in your code with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 timestamp. Okay. But that doesn't feel nice, right? And by the way, so even though it was introduced in the .NET 8 timeframe, it has actually been backported both by Microsoft and also my manual time provider to go back all the way to .NET Standard 2.0. So you can use it in older projects as well, even though it was introduced in .NET 8. And for .NET 6 and .NET Standard 2.0, my time provider extensions package actually includes a version, well, down to .NET 6, a version of periodic timer that understands time provider. So the example Steven showed us with, I don't know if you have that code up again, Steven, for the timer. Let me jump over to your screen. So if you go to the actual production code again. Yeah. So that new periodic timer, that isn't the periodic timer doesn't support time provider in .NET 6. Obviously, that would be a API breaking change. They won't do that. But I have if you install the time provider extensions in your production code, you will get another way of creating a time provider a periodic timer that does take a time provider also in .NET 6.
I guess you can do it via time provider .create periodic time or something like that. No? That's the static overload of the time provider itself.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. So that's what I've included. But yeah, no, not system. You can also. So there's no. So if you have my package in your production code as well, you would get a create periodic timer next to the create timer. I don't think you have a reference in your production code to the time provider extension.
Are you sure?
I'm guessing. I'm guessing, man. I'm just guessing.
Can I create timer, but periodic? I guess because it's .NET 8. I mean, you don't need this version. You don't need this API
exactly.
on
So
.NET 8.
yes, exactly. So it's hidden behind an if-def flag. So if you are in
Yeah.
.NET 8, you don't get that. If you're in .NET 6, you get that method, extension method.
Yeah.
So if your target framework is .NET 6, so a few things have to be in place. But you would spot that if you were targeting .NET 6.
Yeah.
Yes.
And here is, by the way, the beauty I do like with your approach, what you mentioned earlier. So for example, I have a cron expression which basically triggers every minute. Every minute I want to execute a job called simple job. And at the end, I want to basically assert that 10 of those jobs, because they run every minute and I let it run 10 minutes, I want to assert 10 of those did run. And with the Microsoft version, I would have basically would do something like that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm not sure if I would like. Obviously, you can hide that in a for loop and whatnot, but
So well, actually, if you use Microsoft version and you just say, or you can use mine and say jump and then 10 minutes, it will call your whatever you're testing 10 times. But the time when you do that will be the same for all the 10 calls. So if any of your code, when you go ahead and I guess it's a cron job kind of a thing, it'll run. The time whenever that method is called is going to be the same as it was for all 10 calls, which might break you.
It does.
I guess apparently it does. So I don't know your business logic. But if you have business logic that just says, well, just invoke me, and that business logic doesn't use the time provider to ask what the time is now, then you can just as well use jump, right? It's going to call you 10 times, but it will move the time ahead 10 minutes before it does call you 10 times. Whereas the other version will call you out, move time ahead by 1 minute and then call you and 2 minutes and so on and so forth. Or whatever you've set your timer schedule to be, right? So if you have multiple timers, if you have a timer, like you have, I don't know, if you might have a timer that's every minute, then you have one that's every 25 seconds. Well, then the time provider, the manual time provider, will stop, at whatever intervals it is, and call the timers that are expected to be called at that, at whatever times they are scheduled to be called at. So,
yeah, exactly. So, by the way, here in my logic, I am very much relying on UTC now. And if you just jump once ahead, it doesn't work anymore. I needed this from the get-go. And that was really my way of thinking if I use the manual time provider the fake. We have to keep the words right. The fake time provider from Microsoft, I really thought if you advance, and the problem is that it's counterintuitive, because if you see the periodic timer, it has an interval you can pass in. So it's really counterintuitive if you say advance and then it just jumps there and then does X invocations at this specific point in time. That seemed very counterintuitive to me, at least. But I do understand that they might have different reasoning and they have different, things to test.
I think, like I said, I think that their reasoning, which is not unfair, to be honest, is that this is how a real system may work. You may run into an issue where your timer doesn't get called at the exact same time that you've expected to be called at. And I think it's like I think one of the examples were, well, we like trying to use it to test low level networking stack code, that web packages. So there's certainly some, but it basically, if you have more like a business rule state machine approach to it, then you might have expectations. And I think it's a good thing to be aware of, even though that when you move ahead, and if you have a timer, you're not guaranteed that the timer will actually hit exactly 1 minute later, as it is in your case. It can be 1 minute and 20 milliseconds if you're on a machine where there's resources free to deal with your timer at that specific time. If it's a really slow machine, it can be 1 minute and 1 second, right? So it's always a good idea to do what you're doing here, saying, well, how much time has actually passed, right? If you have sort of this is my last time was called, this is the new time. If you do that and you put that into production, you will see that it's not exactly 1 minute. It's somewhere above 1 minute, right? So it is. So you need to have both options, but in many cases you have quite specific business rules, and your tests are much easier to reason about if you just say, well, in this particular case, it's going to be deterministic. The time is, and that's the point for me as well with time provider and manual time provider, is that we make time deterministic, which is mean we take out the randomness of, other processes running on the CPU stealing your CPU time, right? But then you might also have specific scenarios where you've written production code that does deal with that does behave differently if the time interval is not, if it's more than what you expected it to be. So if you have a periodic timer and you says, well, if my callback was more than, in your case it's 1 minute, but if it's 1 minute and 5 seconds, then I do something else compared to if it's 1 minute and 1 second, difference between last time I called. So in that case, you want to use jump so you can test that logic explicitly and have that be deterministic, right? So that's the whole reasoning for having the two different methods. But we had a good candid discussions on that pull request / GitHub issue about the functionality here, and then they went with the current implementation, and I'm completely fine with that. And I just published my own because I needed that for that production code I had running around in the real world. So yes, and by the way, let me show you here. This is the NuGet download, and Microsoft is called Microsoft extensions.timeprovider.testing. That's the package you want to look for, and they have a .NET version out. I might want to go in and have a sneak peek at their repository and see if they actually changed anything, or it's just something that's part of the .NET 9 preview release cycle that's going on right now. Anyway, I guess it's bunit time.
Yes, I'm fine with that.
Yes. So the story is for so the story is that we've started working actively on V2. We've had a few false attempts, a few false starts, I think it's the term there, and we've actually pushed a V2 preview release. I can't remember if we tagged it with alpha preview.
Let's preview.
Another small, not insignificant news item is our friend, fellow MVP Scott Saber, did finish the first version of the bunit.web.query package. It's the bunits. It still experimental, but the idea is that it's a package that implements the testing libraries API, and testing library is some APIs that are used heavily in front-end testing in the JavaScript ecosystem, and also Playwright have those implemented. And the idea is that you try to interrogate and navigate the generated markup, the generated DOM objects using things that the end user will be seeing. So you can say, well, I'm going to get there's a get by role method here. So instead of going and looking for a button, you say get by role of button, and that allows you to refactor the actual element to something else as long as it has an implicit and explicit type of button role attached to it. Could also be get by label text, which is the one that Scott has implemented initially. So if you want to find an input and trigger that in bunit, so if you want to fill in the username input field, you can actually say get me that input field that has get by label text, and you would find one that has the label text username instead. So that will give you this input element back, which you can then call event handler trigger on. So that means that your code is much more refactor safe. You can reorder the whole structure of the markup. You will still, as long as you still have the right attributes set up and you have a label, you will get the input element for the username. So that's super cool. And if there are folks out there that want to contribute more of these testing library methods, feel free to come in and submit a PR with some new. It's all right now in sort of a preview library package dedicated to these things. Once we are certain that the .NET version of the testing library API implementations we have done are good and solid and stable, it'll be graduated to non-preview version for V1, and I have a sense that it might make sense to actually just integrate it directly into bunit for V2. But nothing's decided on that front yet. So yeah. Anywho, yet another detour. Well, unit related, but still. So, Stephen, do you want to take the lead and catch us up to what you've been doing? You've been hacking around a bit more while I was at the summit. So,
Well, yeah, I'm thinking. So there are. What did I do? That's a very good question you're asking here. Let me think. I don't think there's. So yeah, I did some refactoring, some API cleanup. Basically, there are two things left. Recurring things left. We have to reintegrate basically main into V2. That's something we might want to do. And then there's this whole thing about a rendered fragment and rendered component merging into one.
yes, I think that would be something we can tackle in the next 2 hours or so, right?
Exactly.
So that might be. So do we want to do the merge from V1 to V2 first, just before we start diverging more?
Yeah, exactly. And because we have, for sure, I mean, I see that we have conflicts.
There's some changes. Also, the new query web.query. I think it's fine for in V2 to keep it separate for now, because it's going to be its own little thing.
It's easier to reintegrate that later.
Yeah. Let's keep the merge conflicts to a manageable size.
If you want, you can switch over to my view. I am.
Oh, sorry. I thought. Oh, well, mind. Yeah. Well.
So I'm just in the midst of rebasing main onto V2. The issue here is right now, the docs. I am almost in favor of removing half of them because we removed literally everything. So what is written here is just obsolete on V2.
Yes, I think for the so verify markup, that new section down below related to we wrote that in the docs, like related to this what's the word I'm looking for here? It's okay, so that's my fault, honestly. You might, instead of doing a rebase, you might just want to do a merge, I guess. Maybe.
Well, no,
maybe not. No, probably
one.
not. Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, I changed the order of some sections because I actually wanted to have the sections up top that describes the thing that we want people to default to, instead of taking them down a memory lane walkthrough of all the different options that are there. So that's why there's a bunch of merge conflicts. I think. So I'm not very familiar. Yeah, the code merge. Resolve and merge editor is probably what you want. I can take you through that because I was the one that made changes. So if you want to do the whole split of maybe collapse your left, file list, so we have a bit more working space. Actually, let me put us down here just for. Yep.
Oh, nice.
Actually, even better. Want some distance to the Steve. So let's so that is some sections that have just moved, like a full section been copy paste up and down. So, and then there's a new section that describes the testing library APIs, and obviously then there's on V2 there's sections that's been deleted. So yeah.
Okay, just for everyone, on the left side we have main, on the right side we have V2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that it might be easier to, on the V2, basically we just deleted a section as far as I can tell, right? We just deleted the whole snapshot,
yes.
So maybe just say, go with, start by accepting in V1, the main branch, and then manually, if you just click on the get the current, get the head, just accept all the changes from there, and then go and delete the bits that you don't want down afterwards. I think that's going to be easier.
I have no idea where to click right now because I never ever
used well, I used the fork client, so I also have no idea.
Okay, so what I normally use is this one, and I use this one because I'm very much a friend of this. So I know that current change is just main. Incoming change is because we're rebasing. The incoming one is the v2 branch.
Okay.
So
yeah,
yeah,
do
let's
your thing then.
Okay, so what we want is basically take v2 and then
Take incoming, take main, keep that, and then because the v2 bits are just deleting, right?
yeah.
So then now that you've done that, you can go down and just change more things, right? If the section that we've deleted is still in there, and that's probably the section you're in right now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The
That's why I
whole
wanted to take the other
snapshot.
one.
Yeah. So but I think because I've moved things around, if you just delete that section again now here, just edit the code and simply delete that whole section. I think that should be.
Is it this one?
Yeah, that's certainly gone.
Oh, damn it. Where was I? Ah, here.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, XUnit, very
Yeah, because
good.
I just have the raw markup. That's the last thing you want to do. So I move that to the bottom of the document. And if you let's scroll up a bit. Let's see the next section if what's in there. Find all
Markup matches, that should be
markup.
fine, to be honest.
That's yes. Well, definitely that's not going anywhere. So let's.
I am just
go
wondering,
further.
where is the testing? Here. Here, okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, where's that part? Not that I deleted it accidentally now. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that should be some find. I should if you search by find by label text again. That might be another. Yeah, so there's more descriptions further down. So basically, show find by the usual ones we have find all. Yeah, I think that's good. So you can accept that merge.
Okay. Yeah, fair. Damn it. Migration guide. That looks even good. Can you show me the real cool editor? Here. What is the difference?
Oh, it's back again. It's the same file. That's the downside of using rebase because then it does.
And I would like to use rebase, to be honest. In this case.
No, I think it's right to do that because when we get.
I would just take the
and then the next time we need to do
change. This was the raw, but this raw markup thing is down here, so that is anywhere the raw. Ooh.
Yeah, the raw markup is at the bottom. So again, I think just accept the incoming, perhaps.
No, that would be v2. That for sure we do not want.
Oh well,
especially this.
Sorry,
here you want to have current.
Yeah,
I'm pretty certain about that. I'm also certain we want to have current here. Ooh. And that are bits which are absolutely unrelated.
Yeah, so that's
I would be almost much in favor, but I know it's too late. Squashing all the commits. We should, that would have been easier, I guess. On the whole branch, it would have been way easier now if it's squashed into one single commit. The whole testing library branch.
Wasn't it?
No, it was 40. No. That's why. That's why it's happening. It's not.
Shit. I actually. It's because I tried to use the automatic squash, but then there was something else in the way, and then it ended up just being a regular merge. Oh, that's my bad.
Wait, this bit down here, standard string assertion. I'm just not sure anymore. There's. I mean, if I
removed all the. I remember removing that with users of the famous framework jQuery. So I've removed all of those references.
Because this bit is now up here, so it's fine to assume at least this bit. Wait,
but I guess the reason
is the current one. That is fair because I saw that bit is just a moved bit.
Yeah, if you can just keep. Like we do the same as we did before, so always just keep the whatever's coming from main, and then
I do think I have to fix this later. This is not. I'm not sure which commit.
Well, we're gonna change that anyway, right?
Yeah, but I would like to commit this without breaking the build, to be honest. But probably that will not fly. Okay, let's try it. Let's try it. I can
We can
continue here.
always
Why
give it
am...
another.
Oh god damn it!
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, okay. At least this is current one again because this is anyway just moved up there.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another merge conflict. What is going on here? I don't know.
Sorry, hang on. Have a call coming in.
I do think I patched some of the line numbers, which is now. So I just have to do here 16 to 19, and then we're good to. Ooh. Exactly, current one. Where's the 14? Huh? Ah, that's from here. I guess I could just go with current. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, that looks good. I rendered fragment. Oh boy. I mean, this should be straightforward. Everything which is I rendered something something is now a rendered something something. So we removed the whole abstraction. So if I take this out in this whole document with rendered, that should be fine. Okay. Okay. Let me not git build is not a command. Listen, kids, that doesn't fly. Okay, let's build everything. And I guess I have to build it in release. But anyway, I can try to... Namespace could not be found. I'm certain it is there. It's compiling. That's good.
Oh, sorry about that. It's the Friday afternoon coordinating with my kids' parents, kids' friends' parents. So yeah.
Label text using. So there's not only that. I guess there's some other stuff. Yeah, failing. Fortunately. Damn. This file is also not working. It cannot find I-element. I mean, that is fair. That doesn't exist anymore.
I-element is from...
But I-element is from
that's an
Angle
angle sharp. Yeah. So it might be that it's confused ever so slightly because wait, no, I know it's referencing bunit.web, which doesn't exist anymore. So you want to change the project reference down there on line 30. Yeah. So now everything should be good to go.
I think so.
Almost.
Wait, I didn't save. I didn't save.
Oh, you don't have autosave on. I thought JetBrains Writer were, omnipotent and
Oh no!
were able
Wait.
to figure out.
Jesus. Why doesn't it find I-element wrapper factory? Did we remove that thing? No, that is there. Wait, it's pointing also to the wrong generator package.
I see. Yeah.
Oh no, it's not.
It shouldn't be pointing to a generator package at all. It should just be leveraging bunit, but I think the namespace might have changed.
Yeah, well, it's in the U.
So maybe it's just bunit.
Internal sync blah wrapper base. No, but no, it should be still this one.
bunit.web.anglesharp.
And this is exactly the one I expected.
Oh, but so it's supposed to be public and not internal anymore. That's one of the changes we did. So it's internal.
It's odd. Shouldn't it be? So, shouldn't be reflected here as well?
Yes, exactly. So that's a change we've made. So if you go back again to the you can also see a bit higher up. There's no, that is probably fine to be internal. Yes, that's probably that should be internal. But the
but the interface itself not, huh?
No. Hang on.
But this
no,
pub.
The
Okay, this pub.
interface should be public. No, so don't. Yeah, undo whatever change you did that before. With
I did not.
Yeah,
as you can see, I did just not. Maybe a new build helps.
Mm.
That's something.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I mean, this type is broken in the sense. Oh, wait.
that's fair. I rendered fragment isn't there anymore.
Okay, that doesn't exist. That's good news.
Mhm.
Jesus. Okay. Yeah, one of the things. I just want to have it in this file. No scope. IEL current file. Hooray! The docs will probably be broken. The tests
for
are
sure.
running. I mean, docs clear. How's it called? Docs site, and then .NET build. No, not .NET build. And then how's it called? Docfx metadata and docfx build. And that will tell me how much things are broken. Damn it!
You might have to run it twice. No, that's fine. I think if the .NET build works, then it's probably okay.
No, there shouldn't be any warning. Ah, wait, there shouldn't
Oh,
be any
okay.
warning. Oh no, wait, this one is metadata. Sorry. Metadata is fine. Docfx build should not produce any warning at all.
I don't think it did.
Okay, awesome. Perfect. Status. Where am I? City. Okay.
Now the thing is, will we get the same? Will we have to go through all the annoying merge conflicts the next time we do a rebase on main?
No. No.
No. All right, good.
Because we are on head off, so only the new commits coming on top of. The problem is if you have a merge, then because the merge is reapplied,
that's right.
Then you run into this issue. That's why what we had seen sometimes was stable and main for. I do not know why, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I push this change now. Are you fine with it?
I'm fine.
Awesome.
Push away.
Because okay, now let's go to the real session. The next. That was just
rebase is always Well, it's frankly it's good that we did it now, and didn't wait a month if for other small changes.
Especially with such amount of commits. It's always good. Or not the amount of commits doesn't really matter. The amount of changes matter more.
Well, honestly, what we could do is we could probably set up an automatic rebase. Whenever we push to main, we can have an automatic. So my point is, we could have GitHub do that for us and try. And if it fails, if it's not a clean rebase, it'll just abort and maybe create an issue for us, right? So we know that there's so we can so it's not a big rebase every time we jump on stream, but
yeah. But I do under So we can do that off stream if you want. I'm not even sure because we tried once. And I know that the last time we did this, it was just it didn't really work out. For apparent reasons, for I don't know why. Maybe because we always shallow cloned. It just didn't work really well. Anyhow, so basically now I remember where we are staying. Okay.
Yeah.
For everyone who's watching, so right now we have basically the rendered fragment and we have a rendered component, and it seems like an abstraction, but under the hood, every rendered fragment is somewhat also a rendered component. You just don't notice that. It's just a rendered component with a very specific component the unit provides. So the idea is A, to merge that, And B, in the long term, not in this session today, but there's also the rendered component state or component render state. Sorry, pardon me, that was wrong.
Yeah.
And basically, a rendered component we could derive from that because there's lots of overlap between those two types. They represent the same thing one time in the Blazor context and one time in the bunit context. And yeah.
So what I really want to do is, but because I find it's an annoying compromise I did back in the V1 old times before you joined the project, and having both of them because I wanted to be precise. But I actually dislike having both a rendered fragment and a rendered component, because you have certain methods, certain render methods that will return a render fragment, and you have some that will return a render component. And it's not, again, it's not obvious to users. We talked about obviousness in APIs before with the time provider, fake time provider. It's not obvious to users why they get a render fragment sometimes and a render component other times. And render components does have that instance property. So what I really want to do is I want to have just a render component. Now, if you're not rendering a component explicitly, but you're rather just passing in a render fragment that may or may not contain components, well, if you don't specify the component type that you want us to render, then we just return a rendered component where the component instance, the T component, is a bunit root component. There's always going to be a bunit root component in your render tree. That's going to be the top one. But if you say render component, my fancy components, we will walk down the render tree just below our bunit root component and actually set the T component to be your fancy component, right? So, but that what we're doing now is that we just want to have it return a render component of bunit root component if you call that method. If you call a method that takes a generic parameter that specifies what is the component you want to render out, then you will get a rendered component back with that component being the instance. So, and another feature I want to do for V2 is the ability to say, hey, go up the component tree and find my parent. And if you go to your parent component, you should get a render component with the generic, type of, parent. Rather, there should be a search method where you can search up the parent tree and say, give me the nearest parent component of this type, and it will go up there. You can also just do parent, but that'll give you a rendered component of I component, because we don't like. Oh, there's gonna be some casting issues, right? So
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. But
actually, oh god. Okay, so there's one thing. If you have a concrete type, right? If you have a concrete type of type, rendered component, and it has a generic parameter, I don't think we can make that parameter covariant. But
No,
if it's an I rendered component, we can make the generic parameter covariant or contravariant.
Yes.
So that might actually be a good reason to reintroduce the I rendered component abstraction instead of having a complete type, just because that will. But I still just want to have just one I rendered component instead of having, because before in V1 you will have an I rendered fragment, an I rendered component, and then you have the concrete implementations afterwards. So that's why we have V2 in preview, to try out these API changes and see what makes sense before we commit to anything. But for now, it's a future problem, Steve and Eagle future problem. So now we're going to stick with just having So basically, what you want to do is just lift up all the bits in render fragment into rendered component. I think that's
exactly
quick.
That thing, and we probably wanna rename this beautiful
there's a bunch
thing.
of things.
This we also have then to rename, but
I think it should be bunit, like it have a bunit name prefix, so that we know that is our So it's very clear to people that it's not their fragment container, it's our fragment container.
Exactly. But let's do one by
root
one.
Component.
Okay, so for the beginning, I would just move this. You know what? I have it here. So I move all the things now to the
I
rendered
think
component.
Writer have a refactor where you can just say, lift it up to the go. I guess if you go to render component, I think there is a method in refactor where you can maybe it's inline. I don't know. You probably want to do that in the next level. Like go
Push
to render
members.
component and say push members,
push.
not pimp.
But
So
I could
there
do
you push them
everything
down
here.
to the interfaces, right?
There's no interface. No. Here you can select the types. No. It is
Okay,
literally.
yeah. So you
I
want
mean, down the
push it
hierarchy
to...
tree that would be down.
Yeah. So that's So down is more specific. Up is less specific. Okay. Yeah. Well,
Basically,
yeah.
I want to have this. It's a good
But
start. I know we have overrides that will
guess-
probably, but I don't care now
Well,
because it's.
I think it'll resolve. It might resolve. So the testing utilities mocking helpers render fragment fake. Probably not that one. Let's fix that manually afterwards if we even need to. Might also be just thing we want to.
Next. Yeah, that's fine. That's absolutely fine because this one is anyway not used anymore.
Just delete the type.
It looks good. It looks. Wait. I mean, protected set and stuff. Okay, fair enough.
So if you just delete that one, right? And then
yes, so let's go in here. That has a private set for obvious reasons. Yeah, everything which is just protected is now. Yeah.
So I believe render count is private set. Render component ID is going to be just a setter. Like it just shouldn't have any setters even because it's just initialized at the constructor time. So
are we sure that no?
Okay, well, we can deal with that later. Another thing.
Otherwise, normally Writer would tell me if this is not used.
Okay, it's possible. Okay, yes, yeah, I see.
Okay, anyhow, yeah. Okay, base does not exist. This would be this.
Yes, this again.
No, that is not even this.
If it's it's the.
It would be this. It did not really move the. That's unfortunate. It did not move the constructor logic in.
Look in your Git history then, just to pull that out. Copy paste that out.
Exactly.
So let's see, what do we have in constructors there?
Yeah, this one. This bit we need.
We have that bit there.
And then this one I don't need. It's services. And then we are
interesting typo. And then there's some protected overrides that doesn't need to be. It's just
yeah, I know that's private, but where is it used? That's fair. What are you complaining about? Member with the same signature is already. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's virtual. It pushed up the virtual, so yeah, we can kill that off. Kill that off as well. There should be an implementation of that method somewhere.
This was the implementation. Yeah, it doesn't have to be privat there. Exactly.
Is that the intended version of C#?
Yes. This pose. Well, that's the question. Do we want to make that sealed that we can remove this whole?
Yes. We want to have it sealed, but we still want it. Yeah. So you're thinking like not have the whole dispose pattern implementation.
Yes. Well, there's no reason to keep it around if we can keep it simple. You know what I mean? I mean, if we do this bit.
Exactly. Yeah.
It is already sealed.
Yeah.
Easy. I do like. I mean, I guess we also have.
Yeah.
Like to have it on a separate. Yes.
Yes, that's also part of our coding rules, I believe.
No.
And we can just say rendered component now.
Where's the autofill? I swear.
I think it's not building enough to help you out with that. It's going to be T component as well.
Stop.
Like the generic parameter.
This one I will fix in a second. This can be private as well. And we are good to go, I would argue.
I think it still claims there's 2 errors.
Well, the first one, bear with me, it's a writer issue. So if you look here, it's analyzers having havoc. They have big problem with .NET 9.
I like the version number there, 42, 42, 42, 42. Try popping up that easy. So
Microsoft Code analysis, yeah. So this one is not real, but this one
doesn't seem like a real version number Microsoft will push out, unless you have maybe
really.
.NET 9 or something.
Yeah, obviously this one we have to change now everywhere. That is fair. In every CS, I make it safe in every CS file.
I think you might want to do just a search replace.
No, I don't want to. Yeah. Well. You are right. You are right. The thing is that some of the classes are also named like that, like rendered fragment something extensions, and I don't want to rename the method and then miss out the.
No, let's go. Let's have the compiler help us out first. Let's get the compiler to do the right thing.
So, I mean, how many issues do we have if I just build that thing? If it's a small number, I will fix them manually. Okay, no, I do not fix them manually.
99
you convinced
plus.
me. You
No,
convinced me.
so I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm actually on board with my own suggestion. Let's go file by file until we see a pattern, because there are certain things that's going to be. The thing is, rendered.
So here it starts.
Is generic. Yes.
Here it's. So in theory, would like to have this one here right now with out T.
Well, yeah, with just a generic.
The problem is if we don't do this, what happens now? We have to basically put this now everywhere.
Yes, where T is I component.
I component. Yeah. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Which might be not be a problem
fine.
at all. Yeah, I think it likely.
Okay, in this instance, you are right. Okay, so ignore this one. If it's on the top line, just ignore it for the time being. Because
yeah, but we still have a red one, an arrow there in the list.
Where? Here?
In the other file you were in, or maybe
that's
there.
This is the good one. That's the good one. Markup matches, and obviously here we rendered fragment. Here it's a bit trickier because here we for sure.
No, still just do rendered component of T component.
Not of I component because we don't care. Do we really care?
But no, but the thing is, it's not going to be compatible because it's not covariant. So you can't just so you have to do T component, and then you have to have a T. But that doesn't change how
people. The problem is now people probably don't have a T component all the times here.
Oh, they do. They will always have
the component.
Yeah. So you just need to specify the generic type for the markup matches. Yeah, you have to have the generic thing there as well. Yeah, a little bit too much Copilot there. Thank you.
Yeah, wait.
But you want to go back to the method you were at before. You wanted to add also generic arguments before, like markup matches of T component. Yes, there you go. It's a bit of pain in the area where it hurts. Have pain sometimes. Yeah. So rendered component of T. I think it should be rendered component or T component as well, just to keep the generic type constraint naming consistent. So I think if you go back to your render component type, isn't it T component and not just T?
It is T component, yeah.
So why is it doesn't care that you just write T there in the
I mean, that's just XML.
I would suspect, I was expecting it to insist on having it, but I think it's because there's so much stuff that doesn't build, so it can't complete it for you, right? Yeah, well, you can have a specific type, but that's not what you want. You want to have it be T component.
But it doesn't care. It's even right, even if I write to hello world.
Okay, it still just uses something. Okay, well, for my OCD's sake, do you mind T component there?
I just wanted to test, what does the XML doc do?
So hang on for 1 second. You can probably do some select search replace find also. You can have like a C ref, like search for C ref of rendered fragment we might have had before. Yes, and do a search replace of that sentence with C ref of rendered component of T component.
See,
beautiful. Yeah, that should be
look at the beauty.
And then there's the more manual thingies you need to do, where you need to
now we have to just go.
I think just crafting a regex that'll do
Yeah,
the thing for you.
That would be something.
It's going to be it would be something, but I think it's in this particular
I know
case,
exactly
it's going
that
to be
I'm
faster just
sitting
to do
here
the
with
manual.
you in an hour and this regex is not working.
Yeah.
I did this so often, and I was like, this regex should be so easy. And in theory, it
Yeah.
is easy, but you have line breaks and whatnot, and it makes it really cumbersome, especially with the
And you
indentation
also
here.
want to insert additional, yes. So and it's all, oh man, yeah.
Yeah, but you
And
know what? It doesn't really matter so much. It's not so
it's
painful. And this is not. I mean, this. Now it's interesting. Wait. That's wrong. This
no, you can
thing.
just do actual T component, then actual T component. So that will be rendered
I mean,
component
we
of T
care
component
because
actual. So you just need two
exactly.
parameters. So T component actual and T component expected. If they're the same type, they're the same type. If they're the different type, it's.
By the way, while we're talking about that, shouldn't be expected not always the first one?
This is an extension method, so this is the first one.
I know. But still, you could
So
argue you make the extension method. That seems
no.
weird
So
for
what you're actually doing here is you're saying, well, I have this my component on the test. That's your actual, and you say dot markup matches, and then they expected. But it's an extension method, so it's that's why it and you need two constraint. Writer
did something, but I
did the
what did
thing
it
for
do?
you, maybe.
No, wait. What
I
did
think
it do?
it's just all the way to the end. Maybe it's on the other side, out of
You are
view.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
I thought it removed something. Now it works. I mean, partially, not great, but it works. Okay, I can live with that. What is
So
the
there's
problem here?
so T component and a T component actual and T component expected can be the same type, but we just don't know.
And we don't care, frankly.
Exactly.
As long as the markup might be right, it can be. T component. Yes.
Yeah, because we are asking about the markup that should match, right? So it whatever the render type might be different. And it might very well be, because you might be just rendering a render fragment that would then have the T expected component to be a bunit root component, right? Something like that.
To be honest, right now I'm looking the IntelliSense of how's it called? Vision Studio would be nice right now, because I know that the refactoring tools would somehow
pick up on your
notice.
changes you're making.
Exactly. Yeah. And then just I could just tap through the changes. Unfortunately, Rider's not capable of that, and for sure, render.
This is going to be
Yeah, this is fine.
Render fragment should be saved.
Because this one will be a rendered component later anyway.
Yes. Did you accidentally rename a render fragment
no.
to rendered component above?
No, otherwise it would have been wrong here, and I guess we would have a few more issues. We will see in a second. Okay. IEnumerable of rendered component. Ooh. Do they have to be the same type? Probably not.
No, but that is actually so.
But this is already out T. Wait. This is already out. But you cannot make it.
No, but the
doesn't work that way.
yeah. Then there we want to have.
Here we want to have something like that.
So what we could do is we could have a constraint where we have our T component be covariant. So we just say, well, it has to be any component that is compatible with the I component. That's really what we're looking for, right?
Yeah.
But now we're telling it we want all the things in the expected list that to be the same T component.
I mean, we can go step by step.
Yeah. Let's see if
there's no reason to do it now.
No. One refactor at the time. That's usually the rule you want to follow.
Maybe I should really start to the most left parts, and then the tools pick up what
you get more help.
Yeah.
So this might have been one of those cases where the right approach.
Yeah, this one will be.
You can just type I component for now.
But this will not work. Yeah, for now, yes. For now, it's fine, I guess. It will not work, but for now, it's fine. Because this
But
one is
that might be
still...
complaining because, yeah.
And
There
this will
we
be then our fragment container, which we now can rename.
to yes. Well, wait with that. One step at a time, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, because we are done with this file.
I don't think so.
Well, the usage here is because it's still getting a rendered fragment instead of a rendered component. I mean, this one, you know.
But I think there's some typecasting going on that where it doesn't actually do the thing it thinks it's doing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this one was returning a fragment container, and this one was returning an I component, and that doesn't work out.
Yeah.
But we can also make a fragment container here, and then it works out.
Oh yeah. So, Stephen, I am thinking that the change we are attempting here might be easier if we had an I-rendered component covariant interface instead. So
it might be true, yeah.
So I wonder if you want to stash the changes you have. Let's make that other change first.
I'm almost
create a
certain that wait. I want to keep everything except this one. I want to keep the So the merge I want to keep because this one we will have in any case. It does not matter. So those two I want to keep.
Yeah. But so it's not that I don't want you to throw the stuff changes you have now away. I just want you to go to if you stash the things you have, all the things. Yes. And then go to your I rendered component.
The rendered component.
I guess it's ours, right? And there we extract an interface that we create.
Refactor. I don't know the shortcut. Where's refactor here? Extract
Interface. There we go. Yes, and we want that to be generic. So you want instance, basically all the. Let's just
if I take this one, it's automatically.
Yeah, select public.
Everything which is public, I want to. Oh, that's exactly what I want.
Yeah. There we go. And let's go and have.
Yeah, almost.
Well, you can that one. Outs. And why is it red squiggling us?
Yeah, inherit doc stuff.
No.
Oh, come on. There we go.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It was just the our
XML
docs requirements that it wasn't happy about. I see. Is it because you have it set to release mode?
That might be the case. Yeah, I'm always in release mode.
So you probably want to switch it to non-release mode just because then it'll warnings. So for folks watching, we have treat warnings as errors enabled during release mode. So it's nice, but it can be, if you're doing refactors, it can be a bit tedious to have to deal with, hey, you haven't documented this bit yet before you're even allowed to compile. So I think, should we go around and find all the places that use rendered component right now and replace that with an I rendered component as output before you commit the change you have right there?
Yes. Let's do it for now only in CS files and Razor files.
Do we want to do it in a branch so it's easy?
I am already on a branch.
Things. Awesome, good. Yeah, you are.
Yes, let's go.
So you don't want to search for iRender component. You want to search for rendered component of T component. Oh yeah, just render component. I guess. Well, I guess that's enough.
Should be enough. Exactly.
Well, no, actually, yeah, actually, I think you might want to search for rendered component of T component because that's gonna match all the type references you have, right? And then you can replace it with iRender component of T component.
The question is, do we always have T component? We do have always T component.
I see, because you can't use it without T component. That's the thing.
No. It's like, do we have something with T?
Yeah, no, sometimes it's a specific type. No, sometimes, yeah, never mind. So
yeah, I mean,
that's do some regex. So maybe render component of
let's go,
start
regex.
square bracket. Yeah. No. Just do that. I think that's good enough. I think it's taking a bit too much on the second thing it shows you. Like it seems. So there you go. Can you expand the window bit so we can see the full? No, I mean just the search window.
But on the right side you see now the replacement that I would do, and that looks good.
Sure. But just hit enter and see do the full thing, and we can just go into
Let's go.
like we can see all the things that it changes. So if you just
okay,
go through the diffs.
That was exact. Right.
Oh yeah, it
wait.
Himself.
What I did obviously is I obviously also renamed the rendered component itself. So there's still an iRendered component, which is here, which I should. God damn me! How do I go there now? That was even right. Wait, that's correct.
No, it should be iRendered component.
Yeah, I know, but it exists this one because of this one, because I renamed this for sure as well. So now here, now everything is good. So
okay,
let's go.
Do you want to do a build run all the tests?
Yeah. You're very optimistic here.
I am.
Ooh, well. If we do this,
if the regex did smile and use Steve, I think we should be good to go. But let's see.
No. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, that's not a bit obvious because that doesn't work. Yes, because iRendered component doesn't from iRendered frag. That doesn't work. But that is fine. Yeah, and also, why is this not working? This rendered? They are because we have this one a lot.
We still have
all those extensions. So I'm still thinking it makes more sense to merge them first. And then do the bit with the iRendered. But that's just what I'm thinking.
Yes, so I think... Yeah, might be.
I mean, wait. Now let's. Oh God, how do I do that? I have the stash.
Now, so what would be really nice if we can actually have the editor do it just by refactoring instead of having to go and search replace. So, or at least to some extent, make it a bit more. Yeah, make it a bit more something.
Well, I'm still thinking that it was not that bad.
So sorry, can I suggest something? If you can have rendered fragment implement iRendered component of iComponent. And then it just needs that extra property, right?
Yeah.
And you might want to make that virtual to make T rendered component of T component happy for now. And you can just initialize that to you need that for, otherwise it's inherit something. Inherit docs. Yeah, and maybe just do equals default. Yeah. So yeah, that's fine. So okay, try doing a build now and see, because now
the problem
I think we should get close.
No, that doesn't work because a lot of the extensions are built on top of iRendered fragment.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. This
but
one
iRendered fragment is now in. Okay.
That is fine. That is fixed with it as well. What do you want? You want to have a rendered fragment? Oh, that should work. Wait. Decomponent. Why is that not working? Why do we? It's not assignable to rendered fragment. Well, it should be.
It's because T component. Is it because you want to do in instead of out on the?
No, I want to have out. Not. I rendered component.
I keep mixing them up.
Now, out means, so in theory, if someone is having something like a I rendered component of basically I component,
Mm-hmm.
cut is render, and render returns counter. That works because counter is more specific
Mm.
than I
Yeah,
component.
so we want to
So
go.
that's what we want.
towards the
We
lower-
don't want in
Yeah,
would
but-
mean the other way around. So I have counter and have I
Yeah.
component.
But if you go to that method that doesn't like what you're trying to send it, if you change that to take an I rendered component of I component, because that's basically saying just give us something that is an I component. So if you say no, scroll down a little bit further down. No, that's fine. T component, but the set to that one could take an I rendered component of I component. And because we have that generic constraint, that other method you were in just before should now be happy. If do we have it in the interface? Do we have a generic constraint that T component has to be an I component?
I hope so. Yo.
Yes. So, but I think you it's not assignability. Maybe it's in. I think it might.
Yeah, exactly. That is outputs. Exactly. I mean, it makes sense, so if you have now, we can
it does
exactly
make
the other
sense,
way
it does
around.
make sense.
What the heck?
Well, can you just go into set direct parameters async and just make it generic? Except a T, where instead of I component, just have T component.
Then everyone is happy.
Mm.
I mean, it's fine because it's an internal method anyway.
Yeah, well, and it's even so, it's actually even more fine than that. It's really, yeah.
I rendered component. That would be our. Wait. There was. Sorry. That is correct, but this one has to be the I rendered component of our fragment container. See? Are you with me?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this. We rename it later, so it's fine for you. I just make it public, so the compiler is happy with me. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, and do you B unit find component returns? No, wait, that's fine. What is base result? Base result is What? That's the whole point of having out. But this is an I rendered component. And now he tells me find component. Yeah, that is weird again. So now I basically want to have
any I component.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like it doesn't work again. Oh, this time. Yeah. I rendered component. It's not assignable to be rendered. Okay, yeah, that's fair because this is I rendered component of I component. Yeah. I guess we are coming closer.
Mm-hmm.
The extension methods obviously don't work because they are built on top of.
Mm-hmm.
Just have to look for this one. All of them. Wait for state and whatnot. Obviously, they don't work right now.
Yeah. So if we actually before we start removing rendered fragment, we just change that to be I rendered component of whatever component. Well, and that's just T component. Might as well. It doesn't matter in this particular instance. We can just pass on, flow down the T component type. So you would just say, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Rendered. Sorry. Obviously not, but I want test context. Yeah, I want to have the rendered component of test context. Again, I know that 20 minutes ago I told everyone it's way more beneficial if I start applying the generic constraint at the method before I this one is a rendered component. I know exactly. I otherwise keep forgetting to do that. So Stephen, learn. That is Isn't it already? Oh, no. Yeah, in theory, we don't care here much.
Well, in theory, we have to care, unfortunately. I think.
Yeah, but yeah, that's not. But why doesn't that work? I thought that's the whole point of having.
No, but that's the indirection. Um,
Because we basically don't care about the instance itself here. It's not like we do something with it. That's why I'm so confused why we do need now. So if I would do this, yeah, this rendered fragment becomes an I-rendered component of I-component. Shouldn't that work? Yeah, I know the invoke async is not mentioned there, but that doesn't. It looks like it should also work with runtime. I would argue. Not? This? No, why don't? Okay, this.
I think it's just to invoke async. I think it's on the render.
Because I have the regex on. And if you open parentheses, obviously it's not working. Okay, here it's an I-rendered component of T component, or?
Yes.
Because we are calling this, I mean, for extension methods, it should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And then we have the same one down here, which is just the task version of it. So there's no reason that this should be different components.
Nope.
And now the wait for should work. Yes. Wait for helper. Yes, exactly. That's what I expected from the out T component.
Yes, so you're just passing in an I component right now.
Yes.
Okay.
But that should be fine because we just call on after render later, which then goes on the instance.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would argue that should be fine. This one, yeah, this needs new, but that's absolutely fine.
No, you just say override.
Yeah.
It's a.
Yeah, we were. Well, wait, what?
Oh, it's because it's so you're inheriting from rendered fragments.
Yeah, I mean
is not
that's
generic.
just
do okay. So remove the.
Let's keep it.
Remove the.
It doesn't matter. We will merge that in a second.
Yeah. Exactly. We just want to make the compiler happy. You might want to use the new argument there though.
For tests, you mean?
Yeah, no, just write public new T component as you were doing before. Yeah, so we're explicitly overriding it.
The heck? And you? Rendered component of I component. Probably not even I component, but fragment container.
I component, I think, is just as fine.
Because this one gives fragment container. I don't see any reason. Yeah.
Well, that should still be fine to say I component there. Because it is like that's the contrarians, right?
Yes, now comes this beautiful bit here.
So you might wanna. Oh shit! Sorry, can you pick from your? Can you pick from your what's it called?
The stash.
Stash, yeah.
How? Like, I also would like to...
Yeah. Well, so again, if you had that visual editor, you could just pop open the stash and pull out.
You know what? Wait. I'm smart. No, I'm not, but let's make a work in progress. And now,
keep the stash, but just pop it.
Stash. So, git check out. Can I do something like that and say like I want to have source? Doesn't even show me, huh? No, that don't match any file. Damn it! I cannot check out stashes, huh? I mean, you can just get.
You can just do git stash apply, and then if you don't pop it, then it's
merge conflicts, but I don't care about them because the only thing I really want to keep is the rendered component around.
No. You want to keep the markup matches around, right? You want to.
In theory, I want to keep. Damn it! And of course, they have merge conflicts.
I just solve the merge conflicts in markup matches and just ignore and just.
Why
just
don't I want to have the
ignore
rendered component and rendered fragment? I want to delete. I wanted to really merge them.
Yeah, I know, but I think my idea would be to try to take a small step as possible. So that would
Look at
mean
this.
like just going to I render component first before merging before removing rendered fragments. So that's what I want. I wanted to do the refactor just to introduce I render component first, and then
So, and now I can basically say I don't care about everything else.
Yeah, for now. It's just
for now. Yeah, I can apply this later on again.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
pressed everything and now it doesn't do what I want.
Oh,
Writer,
I think it did.
please fix. No, because I want to have this one. Sorry. Where's the extensions? Markup matches I wanted to keep around. Where's here? But he selected exactly, only there's one file I selected here. That's not what I wanted. Okay. Okay, so we have this one, huh?
Okay, and now you can amend.
Which is no usage.
Yeah,
oh, Jesus.
That's fine.
Is it? Why is it so much broken?
It's because you're talking about it. It's you. So what you did change is you search in that file for rendered component of T component, and instead just say I rendered component in the markup matches file. So there was a few places where
you mean like here?
Yeah. So you wanna in that file just do a search replace for that.
Yeah, but if I search wait. I want to have not I. Now I need a regex because obviously we have a few I rendered components in here.
So in Visual Studio, I would just use the word saying I just want to find the full word. So if I have something called rendered component without the I, so it would automatically exclude I render component because it's not a full word.
That's smart. Let's do the same.
And you just replace that with I rendered component. Yeah. In the file only.
I did.
So now we are closer to having something that
I removed that method and called it I rendered something probably.
You might be right.
Wait. Yeah. Did it? Oh, why not? What?
Is it because you're looking? It's ad hoc rendered component fragment instead of render fragment.
Ad hoc?
Yeah. It's so if you look at the method that's red right now, it says rendered.
I know, but why did it? I know, but I don't understand.
I think
why
it was from
renamed?
a different rename. I think it was renamed before, but yeah, you probably actually want to keep the name rendered fragment. Ad hoc render fragment, because that's what we're doing. We're rendering a render fragment. Or ad hoc render. Maybe just call it ad hoc render because
it's more what it does.
Yeah, we're telling you to ad hoc render that.
Which of you two guys has a problem here? This one. What the heck did I do here?
That would be I component because you want it to be covariant. Exactly. So just anything that's an I component, we don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Just want your markup.
Works. Okay, that part is good. I press the compile to unfold the chaos.
The drum roll, please.
Oh wow!
Oh, not too bad. That can't be
right. Expected worse.
Exactly.
Jesus, what's your problem? You are T component. And you tell me again that I cannot use I component, but it's I thought that's the point of covariance.
Well, but I think what we have is contravariance because we have an out.
That's covariance. Contravariance is in.
Well, you don't.
Not?
Okay. Right. No, now I feel inclined to go ask ChatGPT about it because I keep messing them up. But yes, I think wait for state helper isn't generic. If you make it generic, it'll sort itself out. Just add the T component to that.
Let's go. Yeah, of course, you're also not. You are now T.
No, it's turtles all the way down. And the T is, I think, the content you want to get out. So that would be
TNT component.
yeah, I don't know the order there, but we might want to.
Yeah, we might want to switch it, but for now it's easier if I do it that way because probably the compiler helps me out. Hopefully. Do not know. And why are you carrying here? Oh, god damn it. The extension. Oh god. Okay.
Yeah, those that's another to
Maybe
do with converting those to. Okay, but I think it's complaining there because you want to have the T component in there as well, and the logger type is further down
is there something?
there. So
Yeah, before we.
no,
Do
but
we have something which
yeah,
is not logger related? No. Okay.
I don't think so. So you just want to make sure that the logger is the right type that you're passing in there. Yeah. So honestly, instead of having an ilogger of T something something, just do ilogger because ilogger of a generic type is inheriting from. So you can just do ilogger. So just throw out. So yeah, just change that and just have ilogger, and you can not have constraints at all. Might as well. Yeah,
Don't you
need
lose some
where.
information in the log?
I don't think so because because again the ilogger is covariant, so I think it's
Yeah, but
it
wait.
has all the.
This one hasn't any interface. It's just yeah, exactly. So I
It has
guess
the methods we need,
yeah,
and the
that's
scope
true.
is set when the logger is constructed, so I don't think it's gonna hurt us at all. It hasn't previously, so yes, but what we do want, all that is on my to-do list to basically clean up, and you go to the source-generated version, which is slightly more optimized than my handcrafted. So that is basically in the old days before the logger source generator. You had
Logger
to write,
message attribute.
yeah, you had to write that stuff manually, but I don't think I am following the latest version of that pattern anyway. So
Yeah,
it's
but it
probably
wouldn't
a good
if in
idea.
the old version it would just too much if devs with .NET 5 around and .NET Core 3.1 and
Yes,
whatnot.
so V2, that's a V2 change, definitely. And maybe it's not worth
But the
it,
good thing is
honestly.
like we can do this whenever we want.
Yeah, you want to
Yeah.
specify.
The
So,
component.
well, honestly, you might just get away with just instead of doing wait for certain helper, you can might just be able to say I component there.
You think so?
I'm not sure so, but I don't know.
I mean, like here, yes. I'm just more thinking of does that work later on in the runtime? I mean, it should be. That's why you have covariance and contravariance, so that the compiler tells you that this garbage doesn't work. You're
Yeah,
producing.
that's the thing. Yeah.
So let's go. Jesus, I forgot. I'm sorry. I component. Now only the tests will break. Oh god, and the docs. Oh Jesus. Wow. Why is this not coming? Because this is still a I rendered fragment, but this has to be I rendered component of T component. T component. And then this is working as well. Wait. Why aren't you working? Is not as type I rendered component of T component is not assignable to the B unit. What? Isn't that literally the same thing? Okay, wait. I will distract myself with renaming, and then we look again. So, incorrect number of... so he wants to have this T component on top, huh? Yeah, so easy. Fixed it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There obviously are others. Do I really need this T component here, or can I just say it's an I component? Because this one... No. And rendered fragment is a T component? That makes sense. That looks good. Let's go.
Hmm.
It's just renamed in the base class as well. Now it's. Wait.
Is it because you're not
That-
using the T component down there?
yeah,
That's why.
that's my. Wow. Yeah, that's on me.
There you go. And you might need to update that
Yeah,
bit
as
there, and also
well.
the definition. I don't think the type definition is correct up above in the type, like the fields. I think it's declared as an iRender fragment. No, I component. Yeah, there you go. And there's a whole create logger, so you want to pass in T component there. There you go. It's a happy camper now.
Okay. Same thing. What's the
Yeah,
problem
you
here?
just want to specify the generic type when you new it up. So just
Yeah.
say.
I expected so much that they can deduct the type, and infer the type.
Infer.
Okay.
Infer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh. For me both right now.
Yeah.
This one, what's the issue here? That's the T component, that's the T component, and that's the T component. And why do you have an issue with that? T component is not assignable to I component. I mean, yes, fair. Then here, get your T component. So.
Hey.
Okay.
Drum roll.
There are tests. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, tests are failing. Oh.
They're failing to build at least.
Helper, yeah. I mean, no, I will not do them now. I don't care so much about them. Wait, what? Find components, isn't that?
It's supposed to take a T component.
Yeah, but it uses the rendered fragments, which we don't want.
So we want to have it to be an I rendered component, not a render component.
Yeah. In theory, this should work.
No. Oh yeah, exactly. Because we don't
know which one.
Yeah, the thing we want to find is the T component.
Oh, look at this! This beauty's building. I don't say that it's working, but it's building.
It's getting further.
Oh!
Got 99 plus problems, but
how does it continue?
I don't know.
Wait. We can for sure use.
I don't think you need to pass down a T component there.
You're right. Render.
Maybe. Well, let's see.
Is the iRender component of wrapper? No, that doesn't work somehow. Why did? And I guess if I do this, then it works.
Probably.
What? It's still not working. Wait, I'm mildly confused. Before I do this change, I don't want to do this change because it keeps also making integration of V1 and V2 just so much harder if we make any change in this library. Wait, let me. So this. Gotcha. And here, gotcha. This has to be iRendered component as well. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go. That should be fine. I hope. I don't think we have to specify. I don't think so.
I know. I think you're right. No. Like the whole idea is that we don't care about the type of component. We just want to.
Exactly.
This is all about searching the DOM
instance there. iRendered component of an I component. And you wrap using. Yeah, that could be because that's not building. I wouldn't interpret. Okay, now that makes sense. iRendered component of an I component. And then this is an iRendered component of an iRendered component. Okay. And you are. Okay. I guess the type isn't there because, as you can see,
Try to see. Oh yeah, okay.
Interesting what I did there.
Yeah. That hitting the keyboard in anger. Find
Find
as an extension methods. Yeah, and it'll take an I rendered component of I component.
Oh, yeah.
And
In
it'll
80%
be
of
happy.
wait for assertion. Why aren't you working? This. Oh no. Wait for. Yeah. Wait for assertion help. I have to check. Wait for assertion. Why aren't you working?
It's an extension method. So can you just it's the one that says this render. Yeah, you need that one. There you go.
I mean, also here. I mean, now I started that, but in theory, it's also
it's turtles all the way down, right?
But yeah, exactly. Because also, but shouldn't it work in the sense of that we everywhere just slash and because there are not many reasons we really need a rendered component of that T component.
No, for many of the things that deal with markup in our code base, we don't need that. That's true.
For example, here, there's an I component, so let's make it an I component. This should.
Nah, because you want to be T component, I guess. But you can change so if you just say I component, the thing that calls that method, right? Then it should be fine. But API consistency wise, yeah, I know it's annoying, but I think we might want to just stick
Now
with
we
using
started
T component when we don't have any conflicts, right?
Especially because I also started doing that everywhere in the wait for the other helpers, so I would rather keep it that way.
Yeah, and also it might be that we have wait for assertion might actually want to inspect the type, right? It might actually want to look at the type of T, right? Even though it's shouldn't really be.
I keep forgetting that I have to specify Visual Studio.
Possible.
Please fix that. C#, please fix that.
You mean writer?
Yeah, well, that's C# specification that I have to, provide. What do you want?
Okay, I see. Yes, but that's because it's generics on generics. You don't have a concrete type that you're passing it. You're passing a generic type that is, generic by generic. Yeah, I think.
I mean,
Why
it
does
didn't care.
elements? Are we not implementing I
because
elements?
it's not building bunit right now.
Okay, yeah.
That's why, and it's unfortunately our bunit generator is internal, so I wouldn't mind too much that it's red, and sometimes also writer has big trouble.
So what you might want to do is go to the bunit bits there and just build that alone just before you build the test projects. Build them one at a time.
Yeah, well, I'm not even going to the test project right now because
so you're already you're already there. Yeah, never mind.
Don't you have the component here?
No, this is just an extension method. So just you
get a type. You know what? I could have used dynamic everywhere. Now it's too late. I mean, it doesn't work if it doesn't work if your T component is internal, then it crashes. But that's the user's problem. Okay, what do you want from me? Configure await, yeah, that's probably don't want. Let's go build.
Yeah, the rep using being red might just be it.
It's just sometimes writer has issues.
No, it's the tests that are
exactly
broken now. No, it's going in the right direction though, so that's also something. So it's the return type there on line 11 that doesn't. It would be I component, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, we didn't care for the specific.
No, so exactly.
Before.
Yeah. So it might as well just use that. That's fine. Yeah, find all we might need to update as well. So if you go to find all extension methods, I don't think.
Just looking if there's something else I have to make before I go to find all.
Yeah, of course.
Find all this.
Yep, still takes a render fragment. Yeah.
Easy.
So do we want to do T component just
For the collection, I would
for
say no, because you can have doesn't make sense to have all elements or
no?
all components from the
Yeah,
same. That doesn't make
exactly.
much sense.
No, no, you're completely right because it's sort of it's not just hitting one
It could be
component; it's
anything,
a
or it
full
could
suite.
be.
It's a full deep search.
Oh,
Yeah,
look
so
at
yeah,
this. Oh, find components. Find components. This. Find not.
it's a T. So yeah. So find components is generic. So there you go. It doesn't take a
Oh,
render
sorry.
fragment
I
anymore.
have to zoom out a bit. Oh, no, here is that.
No, it's fine.
We already have that, but we don't care what is in or we just want to say like, hey, that's my root element. Find something under which is whatever.
Mhm.
Redundant yet. That's something cool. Yeah, that's true. We can just slash that completely. I like that.
Mhm.
Because it's guaranteed to be a random component.
It's already the
Yeah, because
thing. But
find components returns that. What does that here? So you okay. Now we're cooking. Yeah. We're getting close. I mean, still we have to remove rendered fragment, and I guess this. I mean, that shouldn't be the bigger issue.
I think when everything is building, it's below 100 or 99 problems now, so that's good.
I ignore warnings for now. They
For
don't
now,
make me
warnings can go
happy.
away.
Compared to this,
That's a diff thing. That's
also don't care.
Yep.
Do we have another compared to? Yeah, here. Don't care. Then yeah, that looks good. Then has component, yes, true. Off. The has component is directly
generic.
on the
Yes.
but also here. I mean,
No, it's T. It's like it's an I render
yeah,
component.
no, I know,
But
but like for API consistency, it's super weird that sometimes we are. I mean, from a user's point of view, they wouldn't notice, but I feel like we're super inconsistent that we slash sometimes an I component. But now he has to.
So what I would suggest there is we say T child component because that's the thing we're searching for. We're searching for do you have a child component underneath you of that type, right? Yeah. And maybe again for find components, we want to rename the generic for unfind component, the find component methods not to be T component, but to be child component. And in theory, doing so means that we can have the generic type
Exactly.
T component in there as well, and it will pick it out because it's so again consistency. Yeah.
Wait. I feel like find component. Oh no, that's true.
Yeah, so you can do T component, comma T child component as the generic constraints, and instead of having just I component.
Why is it not working? I mean the tests for sure. That method is there.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no. So the code is there.
care.
I think you might want to do the .NET build server restart, and then it'll update itself.
Yeah.
It's because
I mean, to be honest, I don't
mind.
I really don't mind.
No, but it is sort of it's confusing you, right? It's stealing your attention. So
yeah. How is it build server or I didn't use it?
It's in our read
our
docs. Yeah, there you go. You might have to restart Rider for it to pick up on that. I'm not sure though.
I ignored. Yeah. I did do the only right thing for my mental health. So
yeah.
Okay. And here, wait.
Yeah, no, so refreshable collections, I think you had a very good point there that it doesn't need to be, we don't want to have that be generic to the type of component because that's fine.
The weird thing is just because, this API asks specifically for a specific type of component you're looking for, but obviously this is a more generic container, so it doesn't make sense.
So I think it's fine to use type T component there for find all, but you're returning something, a fresh collection of I element. So I think it's fine for consistency to have find all also have T component in there. like you had before. So T component there, and then instead of using I component. So, and then
Doesn't it lead to the problem here that this one now is obviously
no. Well, the name is, but you want to pass in.
The problem is that this one is an I component. But exactly, sometimes I do not understand contravariance, to be honest, because exactly in this moment I would argue, okay, now it's fine to that's exactly what I want or I want to achieve
Yeah.
with covariance is that basically I have an I component and I don't care if it's more specific or not because I don't do anything with this generic object. But for some
Could we
apparent
just
reason,
do a cast there? Just simply cast it to
let's
I rendered
go.
component of I component. That should be fine.
Because is this working?
Well, so that's compile time. So we're overriding the compiler suggestions, but I think it should work.
Okay.
You have a red squiggly up top that is not the wrap using, but the other thing. If you scroll up again, where you were there, the render fragment. I think you need to do the same cast there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, almost. Component. Okay.
Yeah, wrap using is not happy, but that's
you can make it happy in a
but,
second.
Yeah, it's a empty the cache kind of a situation because that's
funny because
basically.
Okay, that's building. Unit tests.
Come on, tests.
Jeez.
No, accelerated too early.
30 seconds. Start with wait for assertion helper. He wants to have
it's because you have to specify the generic type. So
yeah, I mean for the timeout message.
No, it's just because you're pulling out the timeout message.
Yeah.
So this is
it's a bit ugly, to be honest. Does it make more sense to have a
you could have a base type, but the thing is the timeout message is very specific to the assertion type. Now I would probably, if today me was looking at past me writing that test, I would say, well, you are kind of like this. The message should start with, I'm pointing directly to the internal implementation. So that is, I'm not sure there's value in actually making that assertion. That's my point, right? So you can just I would probably just delete that fun, but yeah, well, it's fine if you want to do it like
I wouldn't delete it now. I just want to see, there might be bits and things we want to keep.
Yeah. Wait for element async. I guess that needs to be. Yeah, you can just go to definition. So that's a T component there.
Oh. Good. This bit exactly. I was like, that should be somewhere else as well. Almost again. And down the rabbit hole. Where are we?
Yeah.
We said explicitly this is only an I element and an I component. Yeah, then we do the same. But that feels inconsistent.
Exactly, yeah. So maybe you want to update that as well. But that's the internal thing, so it's fine to do T component there, T component there. And it should be happy. Well, the base need to be updated.
This one. No.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
And I said, convert the no, thank you. And you are in for a treat. Why B unity component to B unit B component? Yeah, I understand that.
Generic. Just pass the generic type. Just pass the generic type.
Why do I keep? I mean, that is fine, but the error message is just not helpful at all.
Yeah, because you're looking at it, but it's the exact same thing. Damn it!
Exactly. Like it's just confusing. Okay, that said, now I change the internal one shouldn't change too much. 23.5. How often do we have that? I mean, and I keep forgetting renaming that. I know we can do this later. I
I
know
think
that's no
that's a
problem.
search we place afterwards. I think, yeah. Search for
Yeah.
the word fragment and just go nuts.
Can we
You want to pass
configure
that
this
along to the
Yeah, before I complain later again because I'm an idiot. And this one probably the same.
Yeah. Oh, why don't we have a test for that at all? Or maybe it's just because it's not building right
No,
now.
I guess because
Yes,
right
no.
now we're passing the wrong things in and then we don't have usage.
Yeah,
I think it's more like that.
yeah.
Oh,
Probably.
wait. What happened? Ah, no, this was right. Why is it when I'm adding this? Why does he do that? That's super awkward.
Mm.
So,
You want to generic type
yeah.
it?
Yeah, also
No.
want to rename
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Well, also that.
Yeah. I'm sorry, that's my OCD. I'm very.
No. It's good. It's good. I like that OCD.
You want down the rabbit hole. Wait for is a private. Okay, there's a private one. That's at least something. Okay, component of I rendered the component exactly at that the component rendered component. Okay, and your issue is what?
It's not internal. Oh, sorry. It's not generic. Yeah, you want to pass down the C component there.
It's so funny. Like this is the 5th time or so we have only one error, and then you just start down again, and then you're. It's just so interesting.
It's because we cheated initially, right? And we didn't pass down.
Yeah,
C
that's fair. That's fair. Okay. So now I press
punishing us
build.
for our laziness.
There's a second arrow. Where's the second one? It even told me so. Rendered fragment is what do I have in my? I need this one. Wait for element core is a T component. Then this one exactly here. I'm just wondering the where clause. Did we set this up in the editor config? I thought, or I swear I thought, that writer picks up the editor config and tries to obey, but maybe not.
It might not apply anymore. It might be a rule that was there but have been disabled. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Okay, we're getting closer to 0 in the tests project.
Really?
Yeah, it was 99 plus before.
What is compared to? Yeah, the same issue here. It has to. I guess it makes sense that all the extension methods they have to be of T component if it's not a collection. I do think that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. So.
To I component. Oh, that no. Ooh, easy. But you are. I looked for I component and I didn't find any other occurrence. That's not nice. T component. Check parameter for null. Yes, exactly. Stop. Okay, there's another.
Come on. Go away.
We have also this one expected, but this is really an I-rendered component of an I component. That's fair.
I guess yes, or it could just be T component, a T other component, a T actual component, like we did before.
Okay, yeah, then let's.
So so that's you want a T actual component and T expected component.
No. We called it.
No. The actual is the first one.
No. We called it like that.
Oh, you want
actual? You see, I just want to be consistent.
Yeah.
Either we rename it here now or not.
No. I don't know. What do you prefer? I think I prefer T component actually. Well, so then again, we have something called T child components. So there we have it's like a
I made up my mind.
Yeah.
The expected component.
Yeah.
Yo, so let's go. And basically and now T component actual exactly is T actual component. expected component. Yeah, I like that very much. Okay.
Yeah.
That said, where are we here? Boo. Why is wait for elements not working?
It's because it's a random fragment.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's
And so
crazy.
I do think the API is going to be much better going forward because it's going to be just consistent. It's always going to be rendered.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's just painfully to do that.
So you can just see, yeah.
And then it's obviously this the same here. T component. I do think we get the major
You're going to be
bits.
doing key components tonight.
Yeah, I think so. Let's go. I here as
E-
well.
Every reply on text to your girlfriend.
Oh wait. Yeah.
No, wait for element is fine. It's
Yeah, it's right. Yeah, I was like, I just saw the plural form of something.
I am code driving here. I'm gonna try to spot if you go too much on autopilot.
It's like on the motorway.
Yeah.
When you go shopping, it's also like you go into weird mode. Hey, please, Ryder, don't do that. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Half of the way.
I'm wondering, could you do sort of like do a find like go to render fragment and see find all the usings of that, and that might give us a list of places to update.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that I have to go down here the rabbit hole. That I'm
Yeah,
that doesn't matter. I have to do it now. That's out of question. But yeah, I mean, I don't think we have much left, to be honest.
Let's see.
I did never expect that. It makes one really tired, to be honest. It's really crazy, like because you really do the same thing over and over and over again. There's just repetition.
Yeah. It's
So and okay. Okay, that's oh god. Oh, they are already T component. How is it possible? Why did I start doing it down there?
We have wait for it's
T component. I guess we're done.
The compiler doesn't say no, so just build.
Yeah, I guess the usage is probably broken if it's a public one, but let's see. Warnings, I don't care. Down to 16. We are here. There is. Didn't I fix them earlier? Delay render fragment.
No, it's for.
I thought so. But... Delay render fragment. Wait for elements. Timeout. What's the component? Delay render fragment.
So the nice thing is though that we can now do something a bit more explicit. We can say, like, for example, in the wait for exception message, we can see the component of yada yada name doesn't contain, and like it does. So now you have more information down in terms of actually outputting an error message that makes sense, right? So it does add a bit of,
I'm just asking myself now that no, there's still this bit because like, is it really worth to do this interface? But probably it is because there is this collection, and the collection doesn't make sense to them.
Yeah. I do think it might, but I think if it does turn out it's not needed anymore, you can do a refactor of the interface to call just remove the I. Maybe first rename the rendered component type to be some render component foo, then do a rename of the I render component, and hopefully it'll just find all the places and do it for us, right? So I don't think we are wasting, but if it turns out that when we do that, the invariance doesn't work anymore, then we know, so I think this is
element. What did I do here?
I think should throw wait for element. Is the exception generic as well?
Is this one? This is a string, obviously. And we expected no CSS selector that's right, and a timeout. Wait, I fucked up something. Here. I knew I fucked up something. like, I'm
Well,
pretty
you
certain
just
there
didn't get
has-
to it. That's it.
I thought it really went through to everything, but I did not. Okay, that should work exactly. So, what do you want? You are
It
a
wants the
delay
generic
render
name there.
fragment. You are
Same down there.
same DFR delay render fragment. Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
that's this one. Oh yeah, everything is twice. That's good. So we are down to 8. It was just only 8 because of .NET 8 and .NET 9.
Oh yeah, okay. It shows the error output twice. Yeah, okay, I see.
Let's go. Should I?
Okay, so I'm going to close my eyes, and you're gonna run the tests, and
Let's go. I just. They are green.
on.
One is red. I don't care about.
Let's see.
Only one. Wow.
That's interesting. What are you complaining about that?
It's
though?
not a generic method definition. Wait. Compared to methods, what do we do here? Compared
Oh,
to
it's because
extensions? Yeah, they changed.
I'm doing assertion stuff there. So you want to do of T, I guess. Get compared to methods.
Compared to get methods, you mean? Wait. I'm a bit confused now. So the compared to method. Oh, sorry.
It just feeds in a bunch of methods that it wants us to. So it's basically constructing a list of generic methods and returning those. And we're creating mock instances of those methods so that we can test them. It's basically creating. So if you can actually go ahead. If you go back, sorry, let's try to fix this. So what's going on here is the get compare methods. Go to the where it's being used. Get compare methods. So it's being used there. So we see here what we want is we want to change it to get compare method should not just return an enumerable of object. It should return a theory data, or that takes with a generic type of method info string, and is its object args. So that's the signature we want of that one. So instead of having and change it to be theory data. Yep, there you go, and remove the names of. Well, okay. Yeah, theory data. That's right. Rename.
Yeah. That's just this one here, and
do that. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Theory.
Yeah. Oh no. Okay. So yeah. So we don't want to do yield return. You just want to do up before for each. You want to do new. So on line 17, for example, yeah, create the result or whatever. No, it's not list, just theory data. You can simply type out.
Because you have 2 here, you want to yield return.
Yeah, well, that's fine. It's just you just want to add. Just theory data is sort of a collection, so you can just take the signature from above. There you go, and then you should be able to call. Instead of yield return, you just do result.add or data.add.
Yeah, you're right. And this is yeah, I can just steal that.
Yep, that should be fine. Yep, there you go. No, you don't have to return. Just below, yeah, exactly. There you do want to return the data. Or I kind of like to call it result, but that's just me because it's the output of the method. No, there he went. No, kidding. I moved you to the left.
We can't yield this expression?
No, you can't. So the thing is, it was an enumerator before, and you're not returning an IEnumerable anymore. So you can't basically.
Isn't that thing an IEnumerable internally? Yeah, of course
it is, but that's not how homemade enumerators work.
Yeah, okay.
So it has to be an IEnumerable type. Otherwise, it's
okay.
going to say no.
But
Yeah, it doesn't solve the problem because so the whole thing, get me the type out, right? So what we're testing here is if you go back again to the method we were interested now, that whole find the methods. I'm guessing if you put a breakpoint in there, it doesn't. Yeah, I think we need to construct them. No, not there. Just on the outside of that for each. So we are returning method infos, but we probably want to actually return. We want to create the ones with. Oh, they're generic now, so it does return all the methods.
Yeah, there are 5
Okay.
in.
Yeah,
I guess the 2 mock instance is the problem, huh? This type.
might be.
This one. I know that
Yeah.
I wrote that bit because it's not working. And it cannot create a substitute for that object. Yeah, exactly. That's why I wrote this initially when I merged those objects. That's why I created a fake. So what we want is basically if we have iRendered component in any case, we are just creating a rendered component fake.
So do we need to have, because can we just ask it to substitute out the iRendered component, right? Can we just have it create an iRendered component of iComponent? So instead of so now, because now we're back to interfaces, so now we don't need the fake, right?
That's true, but why isn't
So type is muggable. I think type is muggable, so I think it's fine. If you just outline
that's
22 to 24.
No, we never went into this code. The exception comes from here. Wait, let me leave this code in. Or yeah, let's just remove it because it was not true anyway.
Breakpoint. Yeah, put a breakpoint and see what happens, I guess.
I mean, this is mockable for sure because it's an interface.
It definitely should be, yeah.
So type is iRendered component of something.
It should be
of a T component. Yeah. And the problem is that he needs to specify the generic component.
Well, can't we just do substitute for of new type? Oh yeah, we need to pass in a second type. So because it's a substitute of I don't use type of iComponent. I guess that's probably fine, right?
I think so. First time right. Damn it, not first time right.
Do you have ChatGPT on your what's it called? Not ChatGPT, Copilot.
Yes, I do have. Oh, that's a good idea.
I think just ask Copilot and say, "Hey, yeah."
I don't want to have this breakpoint. Substitute for the type. Can you do it?
Oh,
wow, it is really not helpful. That's literally the same code as before, even worse.
Maybe, not sure.
Type parent. I'm just googling on the other screen. I feel like I'm. Oh wait, no, that's a C++. I don't want to have C++. That's not cool. Maybe I should really write n substitute.
Okay, so actually, so I think the solution actually is that you say we have the type, but before you call line 25, you say type make generic. So type dot create generic. So you basically say make generic type, and you pass in type of iComponent as the type argument we want. All right, there you go. And well, I guess so. The thing is, this might only work if the argument is an iComponent of T component, right? So you might want to have a type is muggable and type is is you can just do equals type of a T component of. So you can just override the type. Just say type equals.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Instead of declaring new array, just do type, and then that's then you can undo the change you did. So it's just type. I guess that might work.
First time right, the second time may only be called on a. Wait. Now we get. I is not a generic type definition. No, what is it then? Type definition. Are you kidding me? Is generic type? That's maybe probably better.
What is so? If you look at the stack trace, what is type before you try to make a generic type out of it?
Yeah, I rendered component of T component.
So we should be able to make generic type.
How does make
passing in the generic type? Yeah, that should return a new type to us. That is the I generic component for I component.
What? There's no. And know what I go into now. That's not helpful.
No, you're not gonna get anything out of that, I believe.
No, I just wanted to read the message. What type parameter of the cron generic type? Why is this not working? Is not the generic type definition. Make generic type may only be called on a type, which is true. That's why I checked literally that thing before, but or do I miss some crucial thing?
I'm not sure. I'm going to be lazy and ask ChatGPT about this. It should know. Right. So.
But it's generic.
You figured it out?
No, I did not. The only thing I can imagine, is there a difference between, let me try something.
It might be the wrong I component. So that's, oh, it's the right one. Okay.
Yeah, so Microsoft ASP.NET. That's a good question.
Semicolon, but yeah, let's try to step through that and see if that works, because then it's because we have some sort of reference.
Yeah, that works. Wait, let me check something. If I create that type, how does the type definition look like? Okay, legitimately the same. Are you kidding me? So type 2 and type 2. Wait, is type the same as type 2? Okay, of course
they are not.
Yes.
Is it because again
because of reference equals? Wait. Maybe because of reference equal. No, okay.
No,
I'm not sure if the operator's overloaded.
I think they're comparable, yeah.
Yo, I do not know what's the problem here. The type.
That is weird. Is the T component constrained on the type 1 that we're getting passed in? Is that is that constrained to the same I component type?
I think so.
So
But
this
let's
would
go
be
to
under
the
compared to. It could, because that is a
Yeah,
and
I
is I
mean,
component the right I component, because that's another I component that is available.
yeah,
It
I
must
would
be.
argue so because yeah, it's the Microsoft one.
Sure.
It's the Microsoft one. Yeah, I mean, there would be a conflict if there's another I component, and that no, that has to be the same.
What the hell, man? I don't know what's going on there. Can you copy paste the exception message you get when you try to do that and just dump it into ChatGPT and or to can you use Copilot to say, well, what's going on here?
Dump it to ChatGPT.
It's amazing how much more I'm using GPT now compared to Google. Like, this is my Google ChatGPT is my search engine now, basically, because there's so much shit when you Google now. I think lots of the search index is sort of overloaded with noise.
May only be caught on type. Blah blah blah. Yeah, no, but ChatGPT is literally not helpful.
No. But I'm guessing we might be running into the same issue as in substitute is in this particular case. I'm not sure what that is exactly, but it's
should implement. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's a substitute for generic type arguments. Does it exist? And substitute. No, I can't really find something clever. Type, does there exist an I something?
Yeah. So that's the one you usually use.
And if I just tell them, give me I component, it doesn't work. Obviously, it could be anything in here, but I mean, we know for certain it's an I because
I think
the
that's
implementation of
examples where it takes a
compare.
string. I think that's an example where it takes strings, right?
I mean, in earlier versions, there could be I rendered fragment, I rendered component base, but it doesn't exist for us anymore. All the 5 types we are going through will be for certain an I rendered component in our case. So I'm not sure if
No, it'll also be a for string. Like, if you go, so you can say basically if it's muggable, but second, no, it might actually work. So what you're doing there is, we can also say if type. Well, you could
sorry.
The problem is you just try to say if it's equal to but that might actually work. Yeah. Oh, I think why it wasn't equal before is because you said it's a type of. Well, no. Well, yeah, let's try
No,
that
they're
out.
the same.
Yeah. And
There were 2 type objects.
Then do in substitute for all. You said just substitute for icon render component. So just do the generic version now. I render component of I component, and let's see if
let's
that
remove that bit here. That no one cares about that bit. Can I create a mock of dot type? Sorry that I provided you with a mock.
Oh, so the exception we're seeing here is
ours.
That's ours exception.
So it's not that type.
No, it's a dot. What's a dot type? So scroll down. Where is the line? Where's the line? It's
here,
further down.
One.
It's there.
No.
It's that one. Yeah. It's
type
a delegate.
Full name is not set.
No, maybe try to do.
It's a runtime type.
Do type of string.
Yeah, the problem is not that. The problem is that type is, as you can see here, is a runtime type.
Mm-hmm.
But
type can you do string comparison
will not.
Then?
Yeah, that's
Why is it like I have a
And this is not a
runtime?
runtime type. This is a, how do you call that?
Yeah, that's.
Constructed type, I guess it's called, huh?
Can you do .toString on that and see if the two strings compare to each other at least? Like a type of and.
I mean, this one should work, huh? Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so just do that check up there and the if instead of the equals to. Why
Probably
are
you
we
can
getting
also say get underlying system type. Probably that might work better.
yeah,
than-
that would be more safe. I would prefer to do that. Let's try that. I'm wondering why we are getting runtime types out of our. So I think you have the underlying system type on the second type of the right side of the equals.
I guess this doesn't need this.
Yeah.
Huh? I'm pretty certain we get this because we are constructing it by reflection.
It might be.
It's still a runtime type.
Okay.
Why is this a runtime type? System type and runtime type. Since your counter instance. Because we are passing in a real type here. Not, wait. You know, the test itself has. No, it doesn't have a test. No.
So I think what we're trying to do here is we're trying to generate parameters that we can pass to the method, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just to equal it by name, I guess.
I mean, for now, I guess it's fine enough if we do this. If n substitute is capable of doing this bit here.
It should be.
I create a mock. If.
Why can't it create a mock of inode?
Because we are just never. No. We are never going into this.
Oh, we don't have it there.
Earlier we had it's else if. Stop that.
Then you could just do the fallback where we try to do it with n substitute with the type just
yeah, exactly.
Like the code that was before.
Type is mockable, then just return. Come on, Copilot. Come. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Now I wanna no. I'm sorry, I like this.
Well, that's not very specific. One or more test failed.
Why isn't it working? I mean, there are 5 arguments. How often can we go in there, you know? Okay, that works. So this bit is working. Okay, if you have a string, you go in. Now we have this. What's that? Then inode. And that's also working. Isn't that beautiful? And we have another inode. And that's also working. And we have an inode list, and that's working. It's working. Okay, now we have here method, actual, expected. Then we have here like P2, the inodes, and whatever this hash code is at the end. That is proxy of a substitute.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's in substitutes.
Okay,
thing.
so maybe I want to go now into that. Where is it used?
You mean the test? It's in a different class. Yeah. There you go. So you put a breakpoint there, I guess.
So I don't care. Okay, at least I go in here. So we are certain about that. We have the method info. We have an arg name. We have some arguments.
Someone null, somewhere. Yeah. Can pair null to throws. Yes, we wanted
late
to throw.
bound operation cannot be found on types or method from which contain.
So this was just my attempt. This whole thing here was my attempt of saving, us from having the same test, 10 times.
I guess we're rewriting.
I'm not sure the time has been saved at this point. So might as well just write the same.
Yeah. I'll just make this work in progress thingy here, just so we know I have something, because I have to leave soon.
Yeah. You wanna just comment out that test for now, but if that's the only thing that's failing, yeah. So I think it should be safe now to actually go and delete rendered fragment. if you have time for more. I also have to check out in 5 minutes. So
Isn't there a skip somewhere?
skip.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yeah. There's a skip if you don't call it ignore.
Good.
I love future Steve. He's the best.
Yeah, he will pro. Okay, so what was the last bit? Was removing the rendered fragment.
Rendered fragment type, yeah.
But we cannot remove that.
I think we can remove it. Well, we need to import lift all the bits up into rendered rendered components.
How did I do this? Push members down. And
Yeah.
I want to push. I don't care about this type right now. I want to make the public ones. That looks good. And then let's go. Yeah, probably. Do you say goodbye forever? Rendered component.
Did it move the instance fields? I don't think it did.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, hello.
No. I mean the instance fields in the iRendered fragment. I think you didn't copy those.
What does it do here? Jesus Christ, it does weird things. Oh,
so
God. It worked better the last time.
If you undo what you did, and then just copy the content of rendered fragment into rendered component, because rendered component is literally just one property as far as I can remember.
I make the smart move. We did this one, so why should I do this again?
Yeah, that's
the only bit which is different
is the iComponent.
Changes from the server. Exactly, this one, which is then an iRendered component. So if I do this right, and then let's I don't care. Any no, roll back everything, please. Yeah, roll back everything. Oh, so.
And we could even consider having the rendered component be internal.
Yeah. So we just what is it issue? This one?
Yeah, render fragment is no more.
That is a rendered component of iComponent.
No, it's just itself. So you can do T component because it's isn't it?
Can I do?
Oh, it's a static method. Sorry, no, it's not a static method, and it's
no,
it's on render. My bad. Oh yeah, you're right.
Okay.
So we deleted the iRendered fragment now, so there's going to be a few places here and there where we. So you're in rendered component now, and you can it'll call it with its own. Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was a missing bit, and that should work now exactly.
Yeah. And.
Okay, let's make it real on you. If you insist on it, I will do that.
Yeah, well, it's fine to do that now, I guess.
In theory, we should not have much conflict. I mean, I didn't delete the type, though. That's on me.
Yeah, so probably
shouldn't be so many. The docs will, and the samples probably.
Hang on 1 second. Somebody's at the door. Okay. Yeah, I guess that turned out a few more things. Hmm.
Why is it not working? Why again? I do not understand that. Do I have to do this
Rendered
trick
components.
again?
What's the array of a defined list there of rendered components?
There's I render
results?
component of I component.
Oh, it has to be T component.
No, because it could be anything that's not depending on the ID.
No, so
It cannot be T component. The dictionary is not full of same components.
no, but well, isn't it? Isn't it full of? No, that's right.
Damn it! How can I not cast that now?
You should definitely be able to cast that. If you assign, if you do var result instead of if you say yeah, just no,
Damn it!
it
Why
does
not?
like that. Nah, yeah, that's the
A T
that's the contra
component.
variant. You have a return where you cast something a little bit higher.
No, yeah, here. But that's fine because I want to have that concrete instance of the component. So
Oh yeah, you're just returning it directly. Yeah, that makes sense.
because here I get also only I rendered component of I rendered component out. So
oh
this
yeah,
one
you will probably want to.
So this cast is valid. That makes sense.
That should be okay. Yeah, the assumption is that the component ID is going to be safe.
The problem is obviously that I have a. Wait, isn't that this? Just for the dict? I mean, that is true because the result has to be the concrete type.
Yes.
But because we return that. But
Yeah.
why is, for example, this one not working as a component? Here's a suspicious cast, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
But why is it a suspicious cast? Because this should work. And the dictionary wants I rendered component of I something something.
I could just store it as objects.
You mean this one?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Obviously, everything you get
So,
as a second.
yeah, so that's another thing I want to do is I'm at least considering having, because the renderer always internal, whenever you create a component, create something called a component state, which in .NET 8 and later we have access to. So you can have rendered component inherit from component state, which means that it is. So instead of storing I render component in the dictionary, you can store, well, I guess you can't.
The component, yeah, right now not.
So what you can store, it's going to be a longer thing. Can you do a work in progress commit and just push it? I'll see about it.
But I would like to revert that to this version. And make this one a
that
VIP.
actually works. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And
good idea. Let's go back in time to where everything worked.
And we have beautiful 3 work in process. Let's push this and let's call it a day.
Let's do that.
Perfect.
Let's go back here. Yeah. Well, okay. So for those who've been hanging out and watching, or might be watching in the future, Steve and I will be back sometime.
Yeah.
And I don't know, not next week, maybe not the week after, because you had like what 3 weeks holiday.
Next week and the week after.
Next week it's holiday. It's Easter, yeah.
Exactly, and the week after I'm on vacation.
Yes, we will. If you hit the notify on the YouTubes and say notify me when we go live, you will be notified. And
exactly,
we might publish a schedule on some social spots. Like Steve is very much active on LinkedIn, and I'm on the X/Twitter places. So we will, post stuff in there, and
exactly.
whenever we plan to go live next. Hopefully within a couple of weeks, we will continue this endeavors. And until then, have a good Easter, Stephen, and
Thank you, you too, and have a lovely time.
vacation and all of that. Yeah, and I'll see everybody in a few weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye. Så